All right, it's always a delight to be here. Thanks for joining us on Flipside this beautiful afternoon, the other side of the news. And we're going to be talking about a topic that we rarely focus on. You know, this set of humans that we hardly talk about. We do a whole lot of discussions about children, a whole lot of discussions about women, youths, the elderly, but there are very rare times to come on air to focus on teenagers. And that's why on the show today, we'll be focusing on building resilient teenagers. There have been just too many frequent problems on social media in recent times that are targeting teenage children, both girls and boys, starting from leaked videos of homosexuality to nude pictures of teenage girls that maybe they sent in because they trust a romantic partner in quote, to hanging out in wild parties, and it just goes on, and even cases of suicide. So we've also had mental health issues more frequently now about teenagers. What's going on? Let's not even begin to talk about bullying and how they have to deal with all of that. So we need to focus on teenagers on this show today and prefer ways we can ensure that our teens are not going to bow to peer pressure, are not going to bow to the trend, whether healthy or not. But they know how to make good choices and then just follow it. Because if you build a healthy child and then you are there to guide them through teenagehood, you're very, very much relaxed when they become adults because you've done the bulk of the work. I have a teenage coach with me in the studio. She's always organizing programs. I recently followed one of her programs on social media, and in Benin here, they just came back from one of the recreational centers, Obazu, precisely. Saw pictures, ice cream. I'm like, oh, I wish I was a teenager. I have Goodness Doe with me in the studio this afternoon. Goodness, welcome.
All right, thank you. Udo Goodness, I'm a teen coach and also a team mentor.
Okay, wonderful. All right, but I'm just wondering, you look so young. Why would you want to be working with teenagers? This is a personal, I want to know why.
Okay, back when I was a teenager, I went through a whole lot. Low self-esteem, depression. So I thought of going in through that line so I can save others that are going through the same that I went through.
Oh wow, that's beautiful. I am very scared to go into your line of work because teenagers are a handful. I remember when I was 18, my mom used to complain every day, and now that I have nephews and nieces, there are preteens and teenagers as well. I can totally understand where she was coming from. Then I could not understand. This woman talks too much. She's too harsh. She's always angry. You need to chill. But I really understand they can be so annoying and quite a handful at times and adorable sometimes, rarely though. Yeah. But anyway, we're going to talk about their issues and how we can help them on the show today. So what's the use of having a teenage what's the use of a teenager having a mentor or a life coach, and how should they even choose these persons? You are a mentor, you're a life coach, but how important is this for teenagers to have someone like you in their life?
Okay, thank you. No, the teenage season is very complicated. They have to go through a series of confusions, curiosity. They want to try everything. So they need guide. They need someone to direct them. They need someone to counsel them, because most of them, they don't have experience, they don't have knowledge. So they need someone to take them through this stage with the right knowledge, someone that has the right knowledge, that has the right understanding, that has experience of what they will be going through now, to be able to guide them through, so they end up not making mistakes. Because if you look around, a lot of teenagers getting pregnant, going through, doing sort of things. So they need a coach, a mentor, so they will avoid some certain mistakes, so they will avoid to repeat some certain patterns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but how should they choose these mentors and mentees? Because, sorry to say, but we've seen several news that even the mentors in quote that are even supposed to be like in church,
Yeah.
abusing, molesting. There's even a recent trend on Instagram
Okay.
with pictures of the faces of these pastors. Although we don't have videos of them in the act yet, but they're being accused of sodomizing young boys that they are mentoring in church. So how would you advise teenagers or their parents to pick the right mentors? Are there pointers to look out
Okay,
for?
let's say their parents know more of people in church. They've studied some of them. They've seen their characters. They've seen their habits over time. They've seen their track record. So they should be able to know that I can trust my son or my daughter in the hands of this mentor. Like me, for a person, I can tell a parent that I need your daughter or even your son, and they can freely give them to me because they've trusted me over time. I can tell them I'm taking this child to a different location. They are free because they've studied me, they've known me over time that I have integrity, I'm trusted. So parents should know people around them that are trusted, that has qualities they can trust on to build on their children.
Beautiful. All right, now let's talk a little bit about peer pressure, social media, and societal expectations.
Okay.
The pressure is intense,
Yeah.
you know, and how would you advise teens to navigate peer pressure and social media expectations from them? They are not adults yet, but somehow people just unconsciously treat them as adults. So how would you advise them to go through this stage?
Okay, their parents should guide them on being self or having self-identity. Because self-identity is key.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know yourself, you'll be easily influenced. The pressure will be more. Though, even if you know yourself, there will be pressure, but it will be less. Because now you already have visions, you already have dreams, there are things you see yourself achieving. You know that I'm great. Like, I can't be influenced by this pressure. Though, pressure will be there. It will definitely come. But
It will overwhelm you.
Yes, you know who you are and where you are going to, your dreams, your career paths, your visions. It will help you navigate your way through those pressures. Social media, same thing. You seeing other persons doing other things on social media, you will not be easily carried away because you know there's something about me, I'm unique. There's somewhere I'm going to, so I'll not allow these things to put me down. And with the help of their parents too. Parents have a whole lot to play in this season, but most times the parents are always absent.
We're looking for money.
They're always absent. They're not present in their lives, so it's a whole lot.
Okay. I remember when I was we used to do a whole lot of teenage camp when I was growing up. I was fortunate enough to be in a church where camp meetings were regular, and they were so much fun. Like, if you miss anyone, you begin to ask yourself, how am I going to recover? You know, from when we were children. So we had children's camp, then we had youth camp. Now they do the women, adults, but I'm not a member of that particular church anymore. But I remember we had this camp they used to call Youth Alive Camp. It was organized by white people who were still part of the church outside the country. So they come around and we meet, we mingle. You see up to like 500 teenagers all gathered together. We make friends, we stay in close contact, and it was great. But there was also something I noticed. There were a whole lot of catching feelings happening around during those camps. Although I can say nobody was caught doing anything immoral per se, but we are teenagers, we were coding, I could see, and many girls around were having boyfriends and all of that. So what would you say about teenagers getting into romantic relationships and in your course of coaching them, how frequently have you encountered them in relationships, and what's your take about getting emotionally involved as a teen?
Okay, thank you. Most times we advise them as a teenager, you don't need a romantic relationship. But most times they will not listen. They want to have the experience. So I will just have to guide them. I'll try to be involved. Recently, one of them have to show me her chats of herself and the romantic boyfriend.
The partner.
Yeah, the things they were talking about, how the boy wants her to give him sex, how she's like, I don't want to. So in that stage, they should have somebody they are accountable to. They should also learn to set boundaries. Because that will help them a whole lot. They should also involve that if they should go into a romantic relationship, they should involve their parents, they should involve their guidance, they should involve their mentor and their teachers. Because these persons will help them. Now, if I'll do anything like this, I have to talk to my mom about it. And I'm not want to tell my mom that I just did something like this. She will scold me and the rest. So they will be restricted to a large extent. So setting boundaries, involving your mentors, involving your coach in the process. That if you really need to, because most times why they really go into it is lack of love from home. Lack of love from home, lack of attention, lack of communication. One of them told me recently that, hey, auntie, I never wanted to date a boy, but nobody listens to me at home. So they want someone to talk to, someone to express love to them. Parents are always busy. So I'm too going into depression because parents are busy. I want to talk to my mom is not available. I want to talk to my daddy is not available. Or they will say, later, we'll talk about it later. They will never have the time to talk about it. So they want somebody to talk to them. They want someone to tell them how beautiful they are. So these things are the things that push them into those romantic relationships. So if they should go into it, they should have someone they are accountable to, a mentor, their parents, and they should also set boundaries. Okay, in this romantic relationship, we should not do this. This is the limit. This is the highest we can go. That will guide them.
Interesting. Okay, I'm not going to get into the issue of safe sex and condoms and sex education at this time, because that's not my area that I'm delving into. But we still have a whole lot to talk about on raising resilient teenagers. We're just trying to tackle a lot of the problems that are frequent with teenagers these days. And the program is Flipside, and we're talking about building resilient teenagers that will not bow easily to pressure, teenagers that will not be easily controlled. And I have Goodness Udo with me in the studio. She is a teenage mentor and life coach, and together we're doing justice to this topic. But in general, since you started mentoring teenagers, what's the most frequent challenges that has been brought to your table? So far, so good.
Okay. I will start from lack of attention from parents. Recently, someone called me, chatted me that, "Mom, depressed." I was like, "Why are you depressed?" Said, "I want to talk to my mom. She's not willing to listen. And she does not have it that she has a stepfather. I want to talk to my mom. She's not listening. It's that she's going to the market, she's going to work, she's going to church. So nobody for her to pour her feelings, her heart to." So she got into depression. What I just did, I just took her out, get her a cup of ice cream, just talk to her, encourage her, and she was fine. I think I had someone that also said she had to read from her grandfather.
What?
Yeah. They will leave them at home with the grandfather. The grandfather will be touching them, touching her in particular, touching her, messing her up. And the fear, she can't talk to mom because the mom will not even believe. She can't talk to dad. He will not believe. So she's just keeping it to herself, and the thing is affecting her seriously.
Can imagine.
So it was a hangout we did, a guest hangout we did. She was able to ask a question about it, so gave her guide and direction, and also lack of love. Fathers should learn to show love to their daughters. Same with the guys. Assist your children to lose their hair. It's not a crime. Let them feel, I have a father figure in my life. A little girl, a teenager, I think she's 12, 13. She was telling me her mom will not give her access to her room. The mom will never allow her go to her room because maybe she's seeing herself that I'm your mom, so we are not supposed to be friends. So you should have your space. Why me I have my space? The girl cannot do her assignment with the mom's phone. She end up looking for neighbor's phone or phones to do her assignment. So that's where neighbors even get access to these teenagers. Because I will give you my phone. Through that, you won't have to see blue film. Or just Sunday, yes. Someone told me she was watching blue film with an elderly person. This is a girl talking now. This is a teenager. She's just 15 or 16. So their parents have a whole lot to play because they are really going through a lot. Like when they talk to me, I can have this sense of urgency for these teenagers. If not, a whole lot of them will miss it up.
Sure do.
They will miss it up.
Okay, well, in the course of our, we gave out questionnaires to teenagers on issues they would want us to deal with, and bullying came up quite a number of times. And those in boarding school, just forget it. They deal with bullying almost every time. It's not almost a norm. But beyond boarding house, some on social media too, they have to deal with harassment on social media. There's even, as old as I am, my sister, there's a time I was quite active on Facebook. In fact, it was one of the reasons why I had to take a step back from social media in general. If you go to my page, you hardly even see pictures. I'm just withdrawn. But I know a time will come when I'm out there again, but I took a break. These sets of people, I don't know if they're Lebanese, but they look a bit Asian. They just send you a message, hello, hi. Before you're even done responding, they're sending you pictures of themselves, nude pictures, all kinds of pictures. And I'm like, I'll have to block. Imagine if I'm 15 and I'm just opportune to be online, which I don't know if that's even safe, but we do know that these things happen, and there are lots of teenagers online, and they have to be open to such harassment. They didn't ask for it. You're doing it. That's already an offense. So how can teenagers now deal with bullying, especially any kind of bully, physical, social media, from their peers, their family members, and harassment as what tip for those who are not going to be able to call goodness and they are watching us right now? What would you tell them to do?
Okay, they should limit their stay. Now they already had the embarrassment from the internet, from the bully. First, they should take a break from the internet. Then second, they should be open to their parents. They should have to talk about it to their parents. That's one of the way out. Because when you talk about it, you are 50% healed from the trauma. You should also get a counselor, a professional, a skilled person to talk to. They really need to get it because they can't really handle it on their own, but they don't have enough knowledge or experience to do that. They should look for skilled people, counselors, or therapists that will help them in these situations. I think I experienced one recently. A girl telling me over her elder brother bullied her elder brother. So it makes her so timid that she can't talk. She's always scared because she don't know where she's going to get the next bully from. Yes. So even one also said in her class, her secondary school classmates always come on her with heavy bully. They don't allow her to talk in public. When they are bringing up discussion, they're always sending her, as in, she's really pained. So she should open up first to her parent or guardian. They should also seek for counseling. That will really help her a whole lot. should seek for counseling.
But this opening up to parents, how do we? I'm lucky. I had a mom who was a teacher who was hands-on. She was always around. But how easy is it to build this parent, children, teenagers communication thing?
Okay. At this point, the parents have a whole lot of work to do. Parents should go for coaching also. There's this woman online. She does parent coaching. They should pay for courses and learn, because you can't train a child, you that is a millennium age. Training a Gen Z, you need more knowledge. Because they are exposed to a lot of internet. So you can't trust the knowledge they use in training you to train these ones. So you have to go for knowledge, more knowledge on how to make them free with you. So they can tell you, a woman told me, was sharing about her 8 years old came home and told her a boy is asking her to be his girlfriend. 8 years old. She was bold to say that to her mom because the mom has a good relationship with her. Girl. So the mom now said, the girl told the boy, I'll give you a report tomorrow. I have to talk to my mom first about it. Because she trusts her mom so much or so well that the mom will give her answer to give to him.
That sounds so American.
So but that's it happened in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So parents should go for coaching. They should be trained. They should attend seminars, conference that will help them on building a solid relationship. Your child shouldn't be scared to tell you some vital things. But that's why most times they kill themselves. They take some things because they are scared. Mommy will kill me. How will I tell mommy? And they are living in that hurt. So parents should go for more knowledge. Because in this time and age, you can't train a child without knowledge. Because you have to be in their space, understand what they are going through currently, and know how to help them out. Talk to them. At least they should have once in a week you talk to your children.
Interesting.
Yes, once in a week you talk to your children.
Okay, there's also the issue, even from the things you've said, there's also the issue of self-confidence, self-esteem, and as a challenge for teenagers. I don't know how that works. I've never had esteem issues.
Okay.
Although I know why I never had esteem issues. But just to help others, how can they develop self-confidence? How can teenagers develop self-esteem? How can they know who they are and not be moved?
Okay, I would say they should start from reading books. But I once had low self-esteem. Like, I always see myself less. Even in my school days, I don't talk in class. I'm always behind. I read alone. I do everything alone. But until I started reading books, I think one book that really helped me was Purpose Driven Life. I started reading books. I started finding myself. I started building my confidence through reading. I also attended conferences, seminars, workshops that talked about building confidence, helping you find yourself, helping you overcome some challenges. I started finding my identity. So teenagers that are going through low self-esteem, that have confidence issue, their parents will introduce them to reading. Release them to attend conferences. Like last time we did a mind shift conference. Most parents will not want to release their children because I'm not there with him, I'm not there with her, I can't release, I can't. But most times, just dare release them. Let them still have some experience outside the home and their school. Let them meet with people, like-minded teenagers. That will really help them a whole lot. During the last conference, we had a whole lot of topic we dealt with, and from after the conference, we started seeing results from these teenagers. So parents should release them to conferences, seminars, workshops, and buy books for them. Books really help them discover those things themselves, come out from self-esteem issues, and they'll become high in themselves or believe more in themselves. And also self-affirmation. Affirmation, I am beautiful, I am good, I attract good things when they keep on with those habits, the changes will be so high.
Okay. All right. At least I'll start. Even me, I need to start saying it to myself every morning. I'm beautiful. I'm good. I attract good things. I like that last one. I attract good things. I attract good things. You know, I'm going to keep saying that until it sinks into my subconscious. I might have been one of the very fortunate girls who had a mom who was very quick to praise her kids. My mom talked about how beautiful her daughters looked to the point that I was so sure the most beautiful girl in the world was my sister Christabel. I was sure. I didn't believe there was any other girl finer than her. I saw a lot of girls in the area, but no one fine reached Christabel until when she entered Uniben. So we went for matriculation and I saw girls. I was so confused. But this girl is fine. And this another one is fine. I believed she was the most beautiful girl in the world for at least 16 years of my life. That was to the extent my mom could hype her daughters, and she had more girls, just one boy. So she was doing a whole lot of praising. Then you come home and we were always top in class. She would definitely give her best to ensure that you do your own work and all of that. She was a teacher. My dad was a teacher. But then again, I also know that my mom was one of the biggest. See, nobody could mock me like my mother. At the point, I used to be so confused. Like, how does this woman come today to tell me I'm so beautiful? And tomorrow she's telling me, this your leg is so fat. Why is it like that? You know, she would just go from 100 to 0 and then move from 0 to 100, no control. But it got to a point, it helped me because I was now so sure of how good I looked, how intelligent I was, and at the same time, when people used the obvious physical attributes that were not perfect to mock me, I don't fair around before. This is not the beginning. I had a proper response to deal with it. So it took me a while to understand what she was doing, but I was just lucky. Not everyone is as lucky. So let's talk a little bit about another challenge. This one didn't come from the teenagers, but it came from adults around, and that was the issue of self-care and mindfulness. A lot of teenagers, they say, are not mindful about their health. They're not mindful about themselves. So I'm going to be merging the questions. I actually split it before, but I think I'll merge it together. So what strategies would you employ for teenagers to prioritize self-care and prioritize sleep, nutrition, physical activities, their health in general?
Okay, I will start from parents should make sure or monitor their children. Also teach them how to bathe regular. Yeah, someone reached out to me recently. I was telling me how there's a teenage girl that is learning work from her. I don't talk to her that she's having some
body odor.
Yes. So parents should make sure that these children are intentional when it comes to taking their baths. They should supervise them. Should not leave these teenagers to themselves because they are still growing. They are still developing. So they should get roll-on for them. Advise them to bathe at least 2 times in a day. You come back from school, you should bathe because you've sweated now, right? So you should bathe and apply some roll-on, and if possible, give them perf. Because when they know that, it's possible, people smell. So they will be so intentional with themselves. I have a neighbor. I'm always on her. She comes back from school, go and bathe. The mom will not be around to tell her, I go and bathe. I've told her, you have soap? She said, yes. You have new sponge? You have your own sponge? She said. So they should always make sure these children bathe. And she give them roll-on. So when they talk about the nutrition side, the parents should also be intentional. Because we understand that the society is hard. So they should include fruits, vegetables to their diets, to their food. You can prepare rice and put a whole lot of vegetable, and the child will still be healthy. Not just rice. At least you can make it. Which one will I use now? She can.
Make it very adventurous.
Okay,
Adventurous
yeah,
eating.
good. You can add scent leaf to the food.
Yeah.
Vegetables, just make it spicy. At least that will help them, because some children can be so far that no control. Why? Because they are eating the wrong food. While some can be so slim, big head, big tummy, because of the wrong choice of food. So they should eat right. Parents should be intentional. It don't really take so much to eat right. Actually, they are giving them garri, let them be groundnut inside. At least that will aid them and help their health
some fats
too.
and healthy fats. Okay, about physical activities, what can we do about that at this time? The town is not very safe, and growing up, we know the teenage boys do a lot of street football. You just come out, there's always a field. They go play football and then they come back home. They will injure themselves and pretend they won't even tell their parents. Then for the girls, we do boju, hide and seek and all of that. But I hardly even see teenagers come out to play. They can form and they're always pressing phones. So what can we do about teenagers and physical activities now?
Okay.
I played though. I played.
It also boils down to the parents. It also most parents lock their children inside. They should also limit screen for them.
Screen time.
Yes, screen time should be limited, because you discover that parents will be in the same house for a whole day. They will not talk to each other. Why? Because the girl has a phone, she's pressing, the mom is busy doing something else. They should engage them in activities. You can even put them during holiday, let them learn a skill. Wherever they see interest, they should go there. Help them find it. Because that will also aid them. For the boys, encourage them too. There are some social internet stuff you can learn, some skills. Like programming is a good one. You can learn them. Graphic designing. Those are ways to keep them active. Ways to keep them active, and also it will help them stay healthy, because it will help improve their mind. Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's talk a little bit about some complexities, family dynamics. Some people whose a parent, when the father or the mom died early, when they were still children, at some point might want to get married. So you now have to deal with a stepfather, a stepmother. Some other cases is not death. While the parents are going through, in case of death, while the parents are going through this grief and loss, the children are going through it in a different way. When I lost my dad, it wasn't the way I grieved my mom was grieving. Our own was on another level. In fact, she had to be whisked away from that house. So how will these children deal with complex family dynamics in cases where your parents or guardian is an abuser, maybe a substance abuser, addiction with alcohol or drug abuse, or a case of your parents are going through a divorce? That's another problem. Or now your mom is getting married to another man who also has children, so it's going to be a blended family. How can teenagers navigate complex family dynamics?
You should seek for help. Talk to there's a teenager that got pregnant recently. She has a mom, she does not have a father, so she was left alone. So she hardly stay at home. She hardly stay at home because she feels I'm alone. That loneliness. So she needed companion. So she should seek for help. Talk to people about it. You might really not have the boldness to come up to talk about it, but try to confide in someone. Now she's pregnant. She has even given birth to the boy. She's back to the base. Now the person that impregnated her is not taking responsibility for the child. So she's now back to the same single mother. Taking care of
like her mother.
her mother. So, but supposing she seeked for help, she would have gotten guidance on how to go about it. Regular talk, regular advice, prayers, studying God's word will really help them a whole lot. Prayers, yes, to really help them a whole lot. So they should seek for help. They shouldn't stay in silence, hoping to solve it themselves because they don't have the right knowledge to do that. They should seek for help.
Okay, before we let you go, let's talk about additional support system you could recommend for those who are watching right now. I'm just grateful that I didn't really have to go through any kind of trauma or loss or grief or a parent who had an addiction. I don't know how these kids cope. I've never been in that shoe. And I've also not encountered a child or a teenager who's going through those very peculiar situations. I don't think I'm an authority to talk about it. I've only just heard stories and all of that. But are there additional resources you could recommend to our viewers, both parents and the teenagers themselves, and your final words on today's conversation as well?
Okay, first to the parents. Parents should try as much as possible to be available for these children because it's not easy to be a teenager. They should be available. Get knowledge to help them. Most times you see your parents say, I got pregnant at so and so age. One woman confided in me that she got pregnant so early. She does not want her daughter to repeat the same. So they should go for knowledge. Go attend training as a mom, as a dad. Learn how to train a teenager. The way you train a teenager or raise a teenager is different from the way you raise 10 years below. So it's totally different. It's different the way you raise an adult. It's totally different because now they are going through a whole lot. Development, changes. So parents should first go for knowledge because you should create room for these children to be open to you. Create room for them to know, to have identity, believe in themselves. It starts from the parents. They should train them to know that, you are good enough. Because if they don't receive those things from home,
they will look for it outside.
Yeah. And unfortunately, most times when they go outside, they will end up meeting the wrong people to give them. So I would advise parents go for training too, as they're also putting the children in for trainings. Yeah, they should go for it. Allow them attend conference. Release them. When you see program that is being done for teenagers, release them. A lot of persons currently are so intentional about teenagers, just like myself. We try to, in a year, we do close to 4 programs just for teenagers, for those that might not have opportunity to have good parents. So they will not be left out in the society today. So they will be able to find their place and function properly. So my advice to teenagers out there, be intentional. Don't depend so much on your parents. Be intentional. Help yourself. Mostly where you don't have parents that always are available, help yourself. Keep yourself engaged by reading and find good association to involve yourself in. Serve, volunteer. You know of a program, it can be a church program, can be a social organization. Volunteer to serve. By so doing, you'll be building your skills. You'll be discovering yourself. You'll be finding passion. And service have a way of molding you. So serve. Take up volunteering job. Not about the money. Serve. Develop yourself. Build yourself. Build capacity. Because the future out there or the adulthood is really not easy. So the capacity you'll be able to build as a teenager, you'll be able to scale through. And during this teenage age or teenage period is a time to discover purpose. The time to discover who am I, where am I going to, what does the future hold for me. Is in this teenage age you should discover those things.
I want to say a big thank you to you, Goodness Udo, for your time with us on Flipside today. And it's a delight that we were able to handle this topic today and focus on teenagers. Teenage age is very confusing. It's you're no longer a child and you don't want to be treated as a child. You're not yet an adult, but you want to be treated as an adult. And then your parents are trying to tell you you are not an adult. You don't have that kind of freedom. So it's very confusing. Plus the hormonal changes. The ladies are talking menstruation. The men are talking about beards, the odor, and it's just a whole lot. And so parents must really indeed be very intentional about their teens and get them involved, get them occupied. Physical activities is also very good. It helps people release excess energy. So you have a dance crew, put them there. You have a sports team, enroll them. Take them to the stadium, take them to sports complex on a Saturday, play games with them. Teach them board games, teach them different things. Just get them involved. In the process, you also get to talk with them. Even if you pick a mentor for your child and it ends up being an abuser, if you don't have a relationship with your child, you will never know. So relationship with your children, I would join my voice with goodness today to say it's very important, so they can tell you basically everything and not live in fear of how you would react. All right, that's how we're going to be concluding Flipside today. I want to say a big thank you to all my viewers for your time. We'll upload this video to YouTube, so if you missed out on any part, you can catch up and watch again and again and again. I'm Daisy Leah Sikidi. Have a great day. Bye for now.